Jamaica Republic could be postponed. Accepting £50 billion in security could take priority. When the former British Prime Minister David Cameron visited Jamaica in September 2015, he said that he did not want to talk about slavery, but that Jamaica should enter bilateral talks with the UK on the way forwards for both countries. It seems those behind-the-scenes talks has bear some fruits, as in January 2025, the UK has agreed to loan Jamaica £5 billion on favourable terms. British Prime Minister Duck's official calls for UK to apologise for its role in the slave trade or pay reparations. Jamaica should move on from painful legacy of slavery, says Cameron. Rowena Mason in Kingston. Wednesday, 30 Sep. 2015-16. 06 BST. David Cameron has called for Jamaica and the UK to move on from the deep wounds caused by slavery, but ducked official calls for Britain to apologise for its role or pay reparations. Speaking to the Caribbean country's parliament, the Prime Minister struck a defiant note as he spoke of his pride that Britain had played a part in abolishing the abhorrent trade, without highlighting its historic involvement in the transfer of slaves from West Africa and ownership of slaves in the Caribbean. He called for the two countries to move on from this painful legacy and continue to build for the future. Being under the UK government umbrella does give Jamaica some protection against the USA, with the UK being the USA's closest ally and the only country in the world Trump tends to listen to and have some respect for. This makes it a sensible choice to stay under the UK umbrella for now. Hence, it may serve Jamaica best to focus on developing the country rather than doing battles with these major powers. Jamaica should play the game with these rich countries and allow them to invest £50 billion in Jamaica, building 200 large, all-inclusive hotels of 1,000 rooms each all across the island. The UK has already loaned Jamaica £5 billion for infrastructure programs on favourable terms. Jamaica should press for another £5 billion on favourable terms, making it £10 billion. Then the other £40 billion to spend by foreign direct investors building 200 hotels across Jamaica, totaling UK £50 billion of investments coming into Jamaica to turn our economy around. The reasons for the large all-inclusive hotels are that without them, it would be difficult to develop the rural areas as tourism destinations. There are many beautiful countryside sceneries on the south coast of Jamaica that are suitable for ecotourism travelers. However, without the large all-inclusive hotels being used as bases to travel from, it would take many decades to develop these areas. While at the same time, Jamaicans in many rural parishes, especially on the south coast, are not benefiting from the current tourism industry, but are falling into hopelessness, destitution, and crime. Or many are just hustling to survive from hand to mouth each day, yet they are counted in the government figures as being employed since they are productive for 1 hour or more each week. These people need permanent full-time employment, even if it is at minimum wage. A high proportion of Jamaican youths have mental issues, which usually start to develop shortly after they leave high school. If these youths had the opportunity to work in an all-inclusive hotel in their community or neighboring communities, where they could take a taxi to work and back each day, they would have jumped at the opportunity shortly after they leave school. That would avoid them falling into hopelessness in the first place. Then the government should have trained staff to go into these 200 new all-inclusive eco-hotels to help these disenchanted youths adapt to their new environment. Many who are now in their 20s and 30s still have 30 to 40 years before they reach retirement age. Hence, it would be a great advantage for Jamaica to help these youths and young adults become productive citizens, rather than falling into crime and becoming a drain on the country's resources. This is ecotourism at its best, helping the local citizens avoid destitution, giving them a hand to live a peaceful and decent life in their environment, while at the same time providing the local communities with decent roads and proper drainage systems to avoid floods. Providing the funds for the government to develop irrigation systems for local farmers so that they can supply the hotel industry. Also, the funds to provide electricity and water for the local communities, etc. 200 mega all-inclusive hotels of 1,000 rooms each across Jamaica would bring Jamaica's visitor accommodation level in line with other Caribbean countries. Jamaica would need an additional 10 million visitors each year to match countries such as Barbados and Curaçao visitor numbers, according to their population size. See table of comparisons in the description section of this post. David Cameron's trade trip to Jamaica, the first for 14 years by a UK Prime Minister, has been overshadowed by the issue of slavery. Cameron was warmly received by a military band playing God Save the Queen on arrival at the airport and received a hug from the country's Prime Minister, Portia Simpson Miller. However, during the trip, high-profile politicians and campaigners drew attention to a distant relative of Cameron's, General Sir James Duff, who was compensated for losing 202 Jamaican slaves in 1833 when the trade was abolished. He has also been pressed to atone for slavery personally and on behalf of the UK by Bert Samuels, a member of the National Reparations Commission, and Simpson Miller publicly raised the issue of compensation after their bilateral talks. In response, Cameron initially did not address the issue of reparations or an apology, telling UK media he was in the country to talk about trade and the future. But speaking to the National Parliament in Kingston, he made clear the UK wanted to draw a line under the legacy of slavery. In conclusion, the future plans laid out are ambitious but achievable. With a clear focus on infrastructure, employment, and economic growth, Jamaica is poised to benefit significantly from these investments. The repatriation funds will not only build hotels and create jobs, but also foster a more stable and prosperous society. This comprehensive approach ensures a brighter future for all Jamaicans. Thank you for watching another episode of my new series titled UK £50 billion Repatriation Funds to be Invested in Jamaica, £10 billion in loans for infrastructure programs, and £40 billion in foreign direct investments to build 200 mega hotels of 1,000 rooms each in Jamaica. Some key features of the UK £50 billion repatriation funding program are: A. 200 hotels to be built across Jamaica over the next 10 years, from 2025 to 2034, especially near areas with high unemployment rates, earning an extra $10 billion each year for Jamaica. B. Providing 300,000 permanent full-time jobs for low-skilled citizens in rural parishes across Jamaica. C. 300,000 affordable housing units to be built over the next 10 years, from 2025 to 2034, 30,000 to be built each year. D. Franchises for the first 100 large all-inclusive hotels will be given to foreign direct investment over the next 1 to 5 years, from 2025 to 2029. E. Each hotel costing approximately £200 million to build, totaling £40 billion. All paid for by the foreign direct investments repatriation money coming back to Jamaica. F. A national living wage to be established in Jamaica, raising the current minimum wage by 15% each year, reaching 30,000 Jamaican dollars per week by 2030, payable to all hotel workers. G. Jamaica's agriculture needs to start growing by 20% every year for the next 10 years and beyond. This is to create stability in the country as the tourism industry starts growing by 20% every year for the next 10 years. Thanks for watching this video. To support this channel, please click on the subscribe button. Share this video in your WhatsApp groups and send it to all your friends, as we try to demonstrate how the tourism industry can transform lives in Jamaica. Remember to let us know what you think about this video by leaving your comments below. Please keep your comments respectful. God bless you, God bless the Jamaican Parliament, and God bless Jamaica. Until my next video, peace and love. This is part 5 of my current series. Look out for part 6.